Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As always, I'm one of your hosts on this great show, MattyBets, joined by my partner in crime over here,
BigAL Bettor. BigAL Bettor.
Big
How
Al
you doing
Better.
tonight,
There
Matt?
he is, big man himself, the big legend. Uh, I'm doing good, man. We got Thursday Night Football. That's the first video of the week. Always is. You guys know this. If it's your first time on the channel, welcome. We appreciate you for being here. Stick around for a little bit. Sub, like, comment, all that crap that everybody else tells you to do and asks you to do and begs for you to do. We do the same thing. We're a YouTube channel too. There you go. We're not going to beg, though. We won't get down on our knees. But uh, this is the first video of the week. We do Thursday Night Football, then we do our Sunday. We have our big Sunday slate of games. We give you our locks of the week, all that good stuff. We have a Sunday night. Monday night, we do all the primetime games. We do the big Sunday slate. And that's what, yeah, that's all that we do here. I mean, anything else you want to add to that, Al, or are you good?
No, I think you kind of nailed it. Sunday's my favorite video. I think I've said that a couple times at this point. It's just I like breaking down more than just one game, but the single games are fun and the prime times are fun, and yeah, I'm excited to jump into this one. This should be actually kind of a fun game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you said, it is fun just to break down all of them. But when we just get to do one, we get to kind of focus on one. And it's always awesome when it's a great matchup, too, which we actually kind of have a good matchup this week, wouldn't you say?
I would say.
You would say. Well, let me tell you who it is before you think. Maybe they changed the schedule on us without us knowing. Uh, we got Texans at New York Jets. Should be a good game. Texans coming off a win against the Colts, a
Mm.
close one. The week before they got embarrassed by the Packers. C.J. Stroud's worst game of his career was 2 weeks ago. He didn't look all that sharp last week, in my opinion. They also lost Stephon Diggs in that game too. Big loss to the Texans there.
Big loss.
And then you also have they're playing against the Jets. We all know the Jets. They got Aaron Rodgers. They got Devontae Adams. It's the big old swan song of them being reunited, and they suck. So we don't know what's going on with the Jets. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the game. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is the game that either they come back to life. They have a chance to win the division still. It's not too late, and or other side of that coin, their season's over and they're done. And Rodgers is washed. Devontae's not as good as we think. I mean, there's so many questions with the Jets, and it's hard to take them in any game. Texans don't look as good since they lost, Nico Collins, and now they are without Stephon Diggs. So we'll see what they look like. But I'm done talking on this for right now. You tell me what you think about this game.
Bro, the Jets are 2-6. They lost their first game against the Niners, and then they won back to back, and they have not won since.
Aaron Rodgers, their quarterback was
They
the
have lost
problem, right?
5 straight games. And the worst part, if you guys watched the Sunday video, I was 3 week in a row with my teasers. I was on a teaser heater. Like, we were making money left and right, hand over fist, plus 600, keep them coming, fill the vault. And I hit every single thing except one, and I teased the Jets from a -7 to a -6. They needed to just win the game. I had a -1. They have a what? They had a 4-point lead
hmm
with a minute and a half to go, and they let the Patriots go right down the field, punch it in for a touchdown, and win the game by 3. And there's 20 seconds left. They have no timeouts, and they couldn't get down the field in field goal range just to tie it. But so yeah, these Jets have been a joke. So at this point in the season, yeah, this is the halfway point of the season. Week 9, there's 18 total weeks. People play 17 games. If you can't go 3-6 the first 9, there's no chance here. So they need this game. The Texans, they just keep getting more and more banged up. They haven't been as good this year, and C.J. Stroud has not been as good this year as in past years. So in this game, I'm taking the Jets at home on a short week, a bounce back situation against a beat up Texans team that is missing 2 of their best weapons. And I like the over 42. The Texans only had 2 games this season go under 42. So I really like that. And since the Jets fired Coach Salah, however you say his name,
Slaw.
their defense has given up over 20 points a game. So they don't stop anybody anymore. And if they're going to win the game by 2, that means that the Texans get to 20, the Jets get to 22. Bada bing, there's your over. So I like the over 42 in this spot, and I like the Jets to just finally get a win. I mean, they've lost for a month straight. It's time to shape up. So
Yeah, so I'll go now with mine. I'm on the same as you are with the Jets at the -1.5. Uh, I just think I actually don't mind losing my money here if this is it because I'm not taking the Jets again. I've been high on the Jets, like just hoping for them to show me something and to prove that hey, we're this great team. We have all these look at all of our weapons, look at all of our fun toys that we have, and look who we have as our quarterback. We got Aaron Rodgers. It's still the Jets' curse as far as this season's concerned, where the quarterback definitely wasn't the problem last year. It was the lack of weapons, in my opinion. I don't know. I think the Jets might just be, they're just that franchise that just can't win. So we'll see. I do like the Jets here. They're turned around, like you said, banged up Texans team. I mean, their offense should not be that good. Their offense now is Tank Dell. I mean, they have Dalton Schultz, but I mean, it's Joe Mixon for the most part. Like C.J. Stroud, like we said, hasn't been that great this year. Like last year was his year, and then this year it's like he's still a viable quarterback in the NFL. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but he's not like this young prospect that we think is going to be the next Mahomes. Like not this year at least, maybe next year, but not so far this year. And then I actually like the under 42.5. I think this Jets defense can actually get some pressure on CJ Stroud and cause him to make a lot of mistakes and just rush his throws a lot. And without Tank Dell, without without Nico Collins, without Stephon Diggs, a lot of those passes are going to be incompletions now that Stephon Diggs would catch. So I like the Texans to be on a lot of 3 and outs and punting a lot in this game. And like we've seen with the Jets, their offense just doesn't click. Like they can't score a lot of points. So I don't mind the Jets getting to 22 or 24. Like that's fine, but I don't think the Texans are going to score more than 14. So I do like the under in this game. I think it'll be a really boring game to watch, but I think I could be wrong here, and we could see the Jets finally be who we think they will be, but they haven't
Sure.
shown me that yet. So I'm not gonna put my money on them to be like, oh, we're gonna go and score 60 points on the Texans. I don't see that happening.
Okay.
So what are you
Okay.
taking for your head-to-head matchup this week?
I'm going to be on the over 42. Like I said, I can't look past. I'm a trends guy, and when I look at the trends for the Texans, they played in 8 games, and 6 of them have gone over this number. Like I know you're missing Nico, you're missing Diggs. I just think like Mixon's been incredible this season, so I trust that they're going to keep running the ball, and the Jets haven't really stopped the run. Like they didn't stop the run week 1 against the Niners, and then they got a little bit better. But did they actually get better, or was it just bad teams? And then since Saleh left, that defense has been nowhere near what it was. Like they let the Steelers run all over them.
Yeah, on the
So
season right now, they're allowing like 138 rushing yards. So
per game,
yeah, per game. And I mean, it's not like
yeah.
the
So
Texans run with anybody else. It's all Joe Mixon. So
and spoiler alert for because this will be in my 4-pick parlay later. But Joe Mixon, he's had 3 straight games over 100 yards rushing. So
it doesn't seem like he's going to stop this week. I mean, against the Jets
doesn't seem
defense.
like it. No,
But then again, we'll see. I
he's
mean, if the Jets get to an early lead, though, they might not be running the ball as much. And it might be, hey, we're going to trust, our young quarterback, and he's going to lead us to the promised land. And we'll see how that goes
could
for him.
be,
But
could be. All right,
mhm.
what's your head-to-head, Matt?
I'm taking the Jets -1.5. I
Okay.
don't see the Texans winning this game. I see the Jets being able to defend home turf, not necessarily turning the ship around, but you have to win this game when the Texans are that beat up. Like if you don't win this game, your season is definitely over. Like we talked about earlier. Like
I was gonna
this is it
say
for the
too,
Jets.
if the viewers want to laugh, if you guys want to go back, the only playlist we have on this channel is our schedule breakdown of all 32 teams before the season started. And if
You
you
don't
want to
have to
just
tell them that.
go pick out the Jets one and just sit back, grab some popcorn and a nice beverage, and you can just laugh because we went through the schedule and it was so easy. We're like, this team's going to win 12 to 14 games. It was such an easy schedule. There were a couple tough matchups, and everything else was easy. And we're like, they're just going to cakewalk through this whole thing and how good they are. And it has not gone anywhere near how we thought it was going to go at the beginning. So that's that's some comedy for you there if you want to go watch that one. I can't
Yeah,
believe we were so dumb.
and
Um,
also we were without Devontae on the team too.
Yeah, right. To be fair, I think everybody's a little shocked with how bad this team has been. So
That's fair. Yep. All right. Well, let's jump into our four-pick parlay, like you mentioned just a second ago. Let's take it away. Do with Joe Mixon, 100 rushing yards.
do you want to tell the people how the 4-pick parlays work if they're new?
Sure. Four pick parlay. It's pretty simple. If you're new to the channel, it's still pretty simple. If you're new to gambling in general, then it might be a little complicated there for you. But we take four props from the game, whether it be a touchdown score, whether it be passing props, receiving, like a player to get a certain amount of yards, player to get a certain amount of catches, certain amount of rushing yards, like Alan's about to talk about in his. So that's what we do. We take four props that we like a lot for the game, throw them into a parlay. It juices up the odds a little bit. If you're taking some guy at his line, it's usually like a minus, 120 to 130. So you throw them all together. We've tried to at least keep it between plus 500 and plus 2,000. We've had one at like plus 1,900. That was BigAL over there. That was his. Like he was like, I'm going to risk it all this week. And he had a four pick parlay that paid out like plus 1,900. Don't ask me how he did it because I don't know, but he was really high on the game and all the overs in that game. But that's what we do. We try to keep it, for the most part, we keep it between 5 and 1,000, just because that's usually the easiest part, the easiest like point that you can get to with four picks that you feel good about. But that's what we do, and it's fun for us. Fun makes the game a little bit more exciting to watch too, when you have four guys that you're watching to hit the marks that you took them for.
Absolutely. And on the season, Matt, you've hit like 3 or 4 of these. I've hit 7 of them. So we've had a pretty good hit rate as far as we're only 9 weeks into this thing. So, we're 8 full weeks. This is the start of the 9th. So we've had a pretty decent hit rate considering.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, let me jump into this. So my first prop is Joe Mixon, 90 plus rushing yards. I could have taken plus 100 plus, but he's done in the past 3. And last week he only hit it by he got to like 103. So I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself here. So I cut it back down to 90. It was still plus money. I was like, love it. Let's do that. Then I got Aaron Rodgers, 225 plus passing yards. He's done that every week since week 2.
Okay.
So that's a pretty lock it in, rock it in type of a bet. Then I have Aaron Rodgers to throw for 2 touchdowns. He's done that in over half of his games. And if we expect this game to go the way it should go, the Jets need to get a big win. So I expect him to throw 2 touchdowns. That's not even asking. I mean, that's just 14 points. That's not asking too much from Aaron. And then my last prop, I've got Garrett Wilson, 60 plus receiving yards. He's hit that number in 4 of his last 5 games. He's hit this number. And he's hit it every game since Devontae showed up. So, as far as his production going down because of Devontae, we haven't really seen that. He's just been consistent. So I like 60 plus receiving yards for Garrett Wilson, and then Aaron 2 passing touchdowns, Aaron for 225 plus passing, and then Mixon for 90 plus rushing yards. That pays out plus 750 over on DraftKings.
Okay. Nice. I like that a lot. I like like you said about Garrett Wilson. Yeah, everybody was worried that his usage and production would go down when Devontae got there, and it's actually kind of just stayed the same. And it's because he's not getting shadowed by the best corner. He's not, or by the best safety. Like it's not just Garrett Wilson now. Everybody's worried about Devontae burning them because, like, think about it. Like, we all know the history with Rodgers and Devontae. If you're a defender, you know the history too. Like, you're watching film on it and being like, wow, Rodgers could just flick this thing. Like, obviously that was 3-4 years ago, but I mean, it's still Devontae just adds so much to the offense that the defenses have to game plan for him.
And with every game that Devontae doesn't have a massive game, all these defensive coordinators and defenses are like, okay, we can't be the people that let them have we can't be the one that gives Devontae the big game, the big game, the big game, the big game. So I think it just keeps Garrett Wilson in that perfect spot where he's like, oh, okay, I got a lesser guy on me. Let me just keep doing my thing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you. Well, I'll jump into mine. I have a similar
Okay.
one than you. I'm taking Rodgers at his line now, and it's over 233 and a half passing yards.
Oh, you went a little higher.
I went a little bit higher. I think this has to be the coming out party. It has to be. I said the same thing about the Cowboys last week. That obviously didn't come true. But this has to be, like I said, I'm not taking the Jets again if they don't win this game. And if they win this game,
Yep.
it's going to be most likely they're going to win by a touchdown or so. So I like this to be just the spot where Jets get right and look like what we've wanted them to look like this year. Next, we're going Tyler Conklin over 24 and a half yards receiving. He had 42 yards last week. Obviously, it was National Tight Ends Day, but I don't care. I like the fact that he's the third receiver on this team. So give me that. Next, we're doing Tyler Conklin over 2.5 receptions. If he's going to get 24 yards, I think it's going to be, 3 catches. So there you go. That just seems to go hand in hand with each other. Love that. And then this is the week. This is the last week I'm taking Devontae Adams for a touchdown. Last week, then we're done. We're moving on. We're taking Devontae Adams for a touchdown. Plus 615 for that 4-pick parlay. You got Devontae Adams touchdown. You got Tyler Conklin over 2.5 receptions. Tyler Conklin also over 24.5 receiving yards. And then Aaron Rodgers over 233.5 passing yards.
Pays out what?
Plus 615.
Why is yours lower than mine when you have a touchdown score in there?
Because Devontae is the third favorite to get a touchdown.
Yeah, but usually FanDuel has better odds than DraftKings, and DraftKings has Devontae at plus 140.
Yeah, well, not this week they don't, because I think he's only like a plus 115.
Really? So it's worse on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, which we haven't really seen at all this year. But
No, we haven't. Okay, interesting.
yep.
All right, well, for the last phase of this video, if you guys have been watching, you guys already know this. We jump into touchdown scores. We give you our leans on guys we like to score a touchdown in the game. Matt, who do you have to score a touchdown in this game?
So obviously Devontae Adams is in the parlay. I threw him in there because he has to have one. It's just this will be his third game on the team.
Yep.
Third game with the team. If he doesn't score here, he's done. Jets suck, and Rodgers is washed. Like that's going to be the headline for us and for the rest of the league and all the other announcers out there. But I'm not going to throw him in my touchdown scores just because I wanted to go something fresh. Like Devontae has to be in that parlay for that reason. The fact that he needs it this week. Now, the guys that actually should score, think they're going to score, good matchup. We got Joe Mixon and Breece Hall. That's just a lock. Jets, like we talked about, Joe Mixon, you have him for over 90 yards. He's hit 100 the last 3 weeks. Jets aren't really a great run defense, so I like Joe Mixon to get in the end zone. Breece Hall, we know what he can do. He runs it on the ground, he catches it through the air. That's just what Breece Hall does. He's the main guy over there. If anybody's going to score a touchdown on this team, you're probably 9 times out of 10 taking Breece Hall. And then next, we're going Garrett Wilson. Like we talked about, Devontae's there. Nobody wants to give Devontae that big game and be reunited in the their godlike duo form. So nobody wants to give Devontae a big game, which means Garrett Wilson's going to continue to eat, and he's going to be the big guy in the end zone because they're going to double Devontae. So I like Garrett Wilson there. He's at plus 190. That's the first two. They're both favorites, so I didn't even mention their odds. And then my reach of the week for this game is Tyler Conklin, who also had a touchdown last week. He's at plus 490. Last week he had 3 catches, 4 targets. He dropped one of them, but this is one that I kind of thought was cool. All 3 of his catches were for first downs. So give me that. So if it's for first downs, when you're in the red zone and it's first and goal, second and goal, third and goal, guess what? That still technically counts as a first down. So let's throw it to him in the end zone, give him a first down, and there we go. There's a touchdown. And that's a plus 490, which is just insane.
That's very high.
Yeah, it's very high for me. It's very high for the books. In my opinion, I think Conklin will be able to get another touchdown this week. Give him 2 for 2. Going a little.
Okay,
heaty,
what were the minuses on Hall and Mixon though?
Minus 130 for Mixon and then minus 125 for Hall.
Okay. Okay, I have 2 of the guys you've got. I've got Joe Mixon as well, minus 145 on DraftKings. Then I have Devontae at plus 140. I have Garrett Wilson at plus 170, and then I have my last one. I actually threw 4 in.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had 4. That's weird.
Yeah. I got Tank Dell at plus 170. It just felt like it was too good to not throw in, considering all these dudes got hurt with the Texans. So it's like, give me Mixon, give me Tank Dell. Those seem like the guys that are going to go get it. And then watch, it's going to be freaking CJ Stroud running one in himself or something. But yeah, I was like, give me the 4 best offensive players in these 2 games. Like I know you threw Breece Hall in there, but
yeah,
for some reason I don't trust Breece Hall. I don't know how many touchdowns he has on the year, but I feel like it's not nearly as high as it should be. And so I was like, I'm not gonna touch Breece Hall. I feel like every time I've taken him for touchdowns this year, he's let me down. So in our Sunday touchdown score parlay, so I'm over it.
I did want to throw out one more. I'm not gonna take him as a touchdown, but I'm just gonna say it. Like, comment if you guys were thinking this. Kind of with just the Texans being hurt and a lot of people not being, in their lineup and not a lot of big name people. You guys might be asking like, well, why didn't you take Dalton Schultz as an anytime touchdown scorer? Biggest guy on the team. Like, he's the tight end for the Texans. Why didn't you take him? The only reason I didn't take him and put him on my touchdown scores, I do like Dalton Schultz a lot. I think I actually like Dalton Schultz more as a player than I do Conklin. I think he has a different skill set and he's a better tight end. The only reason I didn't is because for the same reasons that you might be thinking, hey, like there's not as many targets to go, there's not as many people to eat, so there's not as many, people to actually catch the ball and get touchdowns. That's what the books do too. And Dalton Schultz is like the third player on the Texans to actually be favored for a touchdown. So you're not getting great odds on him. So I just like the odds there at plus 490 for Conklin, just because, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of weapons on that team, but we see that all the time with teams that have a lot of weapons. They normally score a lot of points, and doesn't mean that the stars always get their flowers. Sometimes it does
Right.
go to like the third target, fourth target. So that's why I took Tyler Conklin there. He's almost plus 500. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, that is crazy. And if you think he's got a chance, and you said he just got a touchdown last week, like, hey, by hook or by crook, man, but plus almost 500. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
exactly. And then that's all we need from this Jets team too. Is just the confidence. Rodgers, that's Rodgers' MO. Like he needs confidence in you, or else he's not going to throw you the ball. And obviously, last week he liked Conklin in the end zone, so let's do it again. There's your confidence, Rodgers. Let's not look like we
Right.
know we're. I don't know. Let's stop throwing backwards on a back leg every time when the pocket's clean and we have all day. Let's not throw and run behind us and throw on the run and look like we're trying to jump backwards off a diving board every single pass.
Right. It's rough.
It is. But that's it for us. Thank you again for joining and tuning in. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the picks, what your guys' picks, and your guys' own heads, your own opinion. Obviously, no opinion here is wrong unless it's not given by us. Then obviously it is wrong because we're the professionals here, and you guys are just tuning in to glean our wisdom and our information because we are so accurate on all of our picks. Obviously, just don't sue us. But
And if you guys also, I'll throw this in there. If you guys watching want to make your own 4-pick parlays, throw them in the chat because there's people to watch this that are always looking for new bets. So if you guys got a 4-pick parlay you think has a better chance in between plus 500 and plus 2,000, throw that down in the comments. You never know. Matt's been known to take a couple parlays in a game. So,
yes,
um, you know,
I'll let you guys know if I tag along and decide to bet your guys' parlay too. I'm always open to just throw some money at the wall and see what comes back at me. So, but other than that, that's all we got for you. Thanks again, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.